Wait, what?
I said just getting everything ready so we can go live. You remember you were going to be on tonight? Or did you forget?
Yeah, I was on last Saturday or last Sunday.
Yeah. Remember I'd ask you if you want to be on tonight? Okay.
No, I don't remember you asking me. I'm sorry.
Your mind's going now.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just ready to go out to dinner. So
Okay. No problem.
I'm sorry. Try maybe next weekend. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
man.
okay. No problem.
All right.
All
Thanks,
right.
buddy.
All right. See you now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, shit. I just hung up on Caden. Yeah, hold on. I got to get Cito on here. Bob can't make it.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
Good. All right. We'll put you right into the system here.
A little bit before 8 o'clock, I have a little late dinner date.
Oh, how about that? All right. We get it's just you, Kate, and I tonight. Tony's had another relapse. So yeah. Okay. We're ready. 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sport Fighting Words on the Fighting Words News Network. Fighting Words is brought to you each and every night of the week in grateful appreciation to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, men and women police and fire services. When you're out there and you see somebody in uniform, please let them know you know they're there. It's very important. These are very tough times for men and women in uniform. We also dedicate these programs to the wonderful nurses and doctors and first responders, because COVID is coming around again with a vengeance, and the wonderful people at the stores that keep the shelves stocked so that we'll have something to eat during this next pandemic. Now, tonight we're joined by the lovely and vivacious Mr. Zito and the ever-loving and effervescent Mr. Caden. So where should we start? Caden, you want to start?
Sure, yeah. I'll start by talking about the fights tonight with Nizardine Imavov versus Caio Brahio. One that personally I've been waiting for. I thought the fight was based on later, so I just completely missed them. But I'm looking at the stat sheets and the results. I got them in front of me now, and I'm surprised to say that Imavov won a decision in the 5th round. It looks like the stats are pretty even, but I mean, obviously you can't talk about a fight just based off the stat sheet. So I'm just kind of hoping, pray that the judges made the right decision on that one. Even though I was pulling for Caio Brahio going into that fight.
Right.
He's one of those fighters I've been watching for a long time. I think this might be the only fight of his that I missed. But I mean, going into this fight, I thought he was going to be the clear-cut winner. But Imavov, I mean, these are two guys that are just racing up the middleweight rankings right now. Both of them are on war path to get to that championship fight, and I think either way, whoever gets there first, whether Imavov keeps on ascending after this and gets this fight with Hamza Chimaev, I think either way, they're both not a favorable matchup for Hamza. I think Hamzat's got the division on wraps right now. But other than that, that's all that I got for right now.
Okay. Z, what do you think?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say hello to everyone. I'm going to compare with Caden on that one. Caden knows a little bit more about both guys than I do.
Okay. All right. Let's talk something you know. How about John Cena and Logan Paul fought last Sunday night. Did you see that one?
No, I heard them. They were supposed to fight, but I didn't pay too much attention to it. They actually went through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boxing match?
No, it was WWE.
Okay, yeah.
It was WrestleMania. I think after John Cena, it was kind of like one of those ones where you stay in the ring until you lose. John Cena made it like all the way to the end, and then Brock Lesnar came out and beat him.
Oh, Battle Royals. I used to love those old school Battle Royals. Yeah, everybody's in there, but one man has to remain standing.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh my goodness, I got to go back and see that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually very good promotion for Logan Paul, if anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That puts him, on some very, very visual stage, traditional visual stage. So just off of promotion, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one for you. Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou. Will it happen or not?
I can see it happening, and I would like to see it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fight aspect of these two guys would be interesting. If you told me about this 5 years ago, I would say it's not going to go good for Ngannou. Right now, I couldn't tell you. Just by Deontay Wilder's last form, his most recent form, he's not. He's lost his athleticism, and he has not picked up game with it. So I mean, I don't care. Like he's done it for a while, but if he's not used to giving it what he wants to in the ring,
right,
he has problems. So I don't know. He's like, even Ngannou could be raw and everything, but he's still kind of a bit. Ngannou's going to do what Ngannou's going to do. He's going to punch straight ahead and he's going to try to hit you hard. And yeah, I don't know if he can avoid that.
So, you guys have YouTube TV?
Okay, Caden, Tito Ortiz, and he called out Simone, Cal Simone.
Who?
Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Shannon, what's that name? Canal? CHAN.
Oh, Chael Sonnen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these are two guys that have a crazy history through multiple companies, actually. Whether it be the UFC or Bellator, these are two legends that really, I mean, they've never liked each other throughout the stage of their career. And it's kind of like when you have two great players in the same draft class. You know what I mean? They're always going to face each other throughout their entire career. And luckily, as a fan, we got to see Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen both at their prime at the exact same time in the UFC. And then we got to see them both out of their prime in Bellator fighting as well. And I would assume, I didn't hear anything about these talks, but I'd assume this would be more for a wrestling match because Chael Sonnen actually just wrestled somebody. I forget who. But he lost in like 90 seconds. But I'm not like, taking any hit on Chael Sonnen or anything like that because, he's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But if this, a match between the two were to happen, I would guess it would be some sort of wrestling match or something. These are, two guys that both have nothing left to prove and probably both don't need a lot of money. You know what I mean? I'd assume they both made their money. But yeah, in terms of them fighting each other for real, I don't think that would happen.
Okay. Hey, go ahead. Go ahead, Z.
Yeah, okay. So these two guys, they absolutely have, they have been mouthpieces ever since they, I guess, semi-retired or they stopped fighting, really in the UFC. Wait a minute, Bellator. These guys, I mean, Chael Sonnen's always been vocal. Tito Ortiz probably gotten a little bit more vocal today, though he's not in the octagon anymore, the mayor of Huntsville. He's probably right now. To be honest, Tito has more wear and tear on him. Tito, I think, is a bit more than Chael. Chael, through his career, he's not. Don't get it wrong. He's a rough guy in his career. He's been a rough guy, but he hasn't taken as much as Tito. Tito, now he's been over with the pride in it, where guys can kick it up in the air. Tito's, I think, he's been a bit more places as far as all around fighting. Tito Simon's been everywhere wrestling. So, I mean, as far as just the match of that, I mean, now that they're older, I don't know. But, it seems that Chael's a little bit more active than Tito, but I can't say he's exactly,
Okay.
It can't fight or not.
All right. I should have started the program with, I really was impressed this week. We have a retired fighter, Dustin Poirier, and what he's done with himself and his money is he's gone out and he's helping out the community. He has a community foundation, and it's called Good Fight Foundation. And this last month, he's given out 200 backpacks to kids in his community, and he's also involved in helping families pay some money for the children's health. So so many times we hear bad things about fighters, but here's a guy out there doing something, and we really want to take our hats off to him and say great job.
That's the king of New Orleans.
Right.
Him and Lil Wayne. Him and Lil Wayne are the king of New Orleans, man.
Yeah.
And it shows he cares about his community.
Yeah. The other one I wanted to ask you with Z is Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley on October 25th.
That's going to be a fun fight. Right there, I got to say Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker, to me, is the second best heavyweight in the division. Depending on what Tyson Fury to me is a little done for him, I think. But to me, Usyk's number one clearly, and I think Joseph Parker's number two. I would like to see that fight. But to be honest, Fabio Wardley's a guy who's going to bring the fight. I mean, he's good, but he doesn't have, to me, he's not refined enough to deal with Joseph Parker. He's a guy who's going to fight. But as far as as far as boxing, Joseph Parker is a guy I think who's kind of hit his stride and hit his groove right now. He's beginning to find his power, and he's always been durable. The only real kind of fights I've seen him deal with having conditioning problems is with guys who steadily put pressure on him and that he can't stop. As I said with Joe Joyce and kind of not even Anthony Joshua, not that fight, but with Dylan White, particularly Dylan White fight, to where Dylan White went to the body, hard with him. So I would think that Fabio Wardley would try to employ that strategy. I just don't think that he's beating this version of Parker at all.
Kid?
I don't know much about that.
Okay. How about Darren Till, KO and Luke Rockhold in 3?
Yeah, how about that, man? that one was cool. I was, a couple of years back when Darren Till really splashed onto the scene, and he was on like a 6-fight win streak in the UFC. He had just knocked out Dan, and it seemed like he was going to be on his way to being a UFC champion. It just kind of fell apart for him. He ended up missing weight, losing fights, which ended up, leaving him where he is now. He fights, I believe it's Misfits. I think that's how that's what the fighting promotion is. But this is like a whole fighting promotion where they put on kind of like the promoter, like the YouTube fighter fights, that type of fights. You know what I mean? Where you have two retired UFC fighters, one a lot older than the other one, as in Rockhold. But they're putting on all types of. I'm pretty sure on that exact same card Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson fought somebody and he won. But in terms of that one, I mean, Darren Till, he looks sharp. I don't know how old Luke Rockhold is now. I mean, if I had to guess, he'd probably be like 42, 43. So I'm not going to say it's the most impressive win for going against the guy who is known to be getting knocked out later on in his career. Luke Rockhold has taken some brutal damage. I mean, we're talking about comparing wear and tear on some fighters. I mean, you compare those two. Darren Till had, like his losses, and you compare him to Luke Rockhold's losses. I'm not saying that Luke Rockhold's the worst fighter because Luke Rockhold is the better fighter, but that's what it comes with when you fight the higher competition. Luke Rockhold, he's taken some brutal losses against some absolute beasts. Some tantrums. Even his last fight in the UFC was against Paulo Costa. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago now. And that fight was like one of the most brutal, bloodiest UFC fights that I have ever seen. And he's an old ass man doing that. But and now here he is, sadly getting knocked out in the third round by the match. I hope Darren Till the best, but I also hope that Luke Rockhold doesn't fight anymore.
Okay. Z, got anything?
Yeah, I totally agree with you and when it comes down to that. Luke Rockhold should have probably never been in the ring for the past 6 years, to be honest. And maybe even further because, as Kim said, it's not like Luke Rockhold he's lost brutally a lot. And that messes with your brain, to be honest. And unfortunately, you kind of see that with Luke Rockhold, not as sharp as he was earlier in his career. You see that with Tony Ferguson. You see that with Tony Ferguson. They're not as sharp as they were earlier in their career. And that, you just don't want to see a guy keep taking that because that just, it gets things rolling faster in a bad way. But you can't tell anybody how to make their money. So, unfortunately, you probably see that Luke Rockhold may, be in a situation where he's going to fight again. And hopefully, he doesn't catch it like that again. That's all I have to say.
Okay. All right. Z, what do you think about Regis Prodre? He wants big bucks to fight Diaz in a rematch. What's your thoughts?
You talking about JoJo Diaz?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. To be honest, I can see that happening just because both guys are they're not at the top of where they, to a degree. So, I mean, and they are exciting fighters. Regis, to me, is he's probably regressed a little bit more. Just because he's a guy we talked about that athleticism and that fast. Once you lose that, and that's the way you've always fought, then you have to rely on some other things. But some guys don't have those other things. Regis is always tough and hits hard, and he's always kind of brings the fight. JoJo Diaz, he's a power boxer to a degree. So as I say, they're going to make for an interesting matchup, and at this level of their careers, it's easy to see them fighting, each other. So I can see that happen.
Okay. All right, Caden, here's your one for you for tonight. Benoit St. Denis, or how you name it, against Ruffy.
Yeah, but that fight already happened. That was
in Paris.
Thrown off because what do you say?
That was in Paris last night. Yeah.
That's why. Yeah. But sadly, that's another fighting nerd guy. And you know me, my favorite kid in all of UFC right now is the fighting nerds. They got Cobra Hio, Mauricio Ruffy, Carlos Prates, Charles Oliveira. They've been running rampant in the UFC recently, but now that's 2 losses in a row for Fighting Nerds guys. And again, I didn't watch this fight, so I can't really speak on it. But I can say that Mauricio Rossi is one of the more highly touted prospects out of Fighting Nerds. Probably the most highly touted prospect since Charles Oliveira, and he just lost tonight against an aging Benoit Saint-Denis in the second round via submission. So that, you know, even if you watch it, there's no way that can be good. I was reading a little bit up on what people were saying about the fight, and you know, going into that fight, you gotta know Mauricio Rossi, a kickboxer, hasn't really showed any of his BJJ, and it turns out he doesn't have much of any BJJ. At least that's what people were saying, is that once Benoit got him on the ground, his superior wrestling kind of just took over, and that was that. But yeah, man, in terms of the Fighting Nerds, that's what I look at tonight. You know, you got 2 of the top Fighting Nerds prospects lose back to back. I mean, that can't be good. And this was a team that I said would have a longer run of dominance than American Top Team, and that's a big. That was a big hot take from me. But I guess hopefully it can still work out. But I don't. It's not looking like it will. It's not looking like it will. But you know, I wish all those guys the best. But sadly not doing too well. At least not tonight.
Okay. Hey, Z, you have something on that one?
No, I'm doing that.
Okay.
I'm going to defer to Kate on that one.
Okay. How about Oscar Duarte and Kenneth Sims?
That's going to be a good fight. I'm going to actually probably have to go with Duarte. Just think that he's Sims is coming up and everything. I got to go with the experience with this.
Okay. All right. And we got Caden, Diego Lopez, and Jan Silva. What's your thoughts?
I like that one. I like that. And you know what? We keep on talking about these Fighting Nerds, man. We keep on talking about them. This is another one. Jan Silva versus Diego Lopez. Both of them are actually Fighting Nerds. I mean, this team they're infiltrating all of the lighter divisions, and they're all for the most part pretty exciting fighters, especially these 2 guys, and especially Jan Silva. I love the way the guy fights, but I just think I might be alone on this one, and I might be in the minority on this one, but I'm going to take Diego Lopez on this.
Ooh.
I've always loved Diego Lopez. I thought that fight against Volkanovski doesn't define him whatsoever. I mean, he's a young guy going up against the greatest of all time in that division. And he got taken. It's not like he got beaten horribly in that fight. You know, he just got taken to school a little bit by Volk, and I think he'll be back. But this fight is massive for his career, for both guys' career. Whoever wins this fight is going to get that shot at Volkanovski after the winner of Lerone Murphy versus Volkanovski. Lopez versus Jan Silva, and this is one of those fights where you kind of gotta be hyped up for it, not just because of who's fighting, but because where they're fighting. These are 2 dudes that absolutely love Brazil, and Brazil loves them. And guess what? The UFC is bringing these guys to Brazil. This is the first time
Hey, Brady.
the UFC
Trevor, come around.
I think for 5 years. So and everybody,
Is that right?
every Brazilian fighter has to kind of
It's not going on. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
trying to get in there and get on this
Thank
card. So it should be a good one. I'm expecting a lot of Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing. But that main card against Lopez versus Silva, I gotta steer more towards Lopez, man. I just think the superior grappling, and I think his striking is just good enough to withstand John Silva on the feet, just to get him on the ground. Because John Silva is kind of the same story with Maurizio Rusty. We haven't seen a lot of this guy's grappling. Haven't seen a lot of his BJ. He hasn't tested at all. He's tested BJJ and he has a little bit of. So I'm excited to see how this one will play out. But I got Lopez.
Okay. Z, yeah, I think.
Actually, I don't again. I'm agree with Caden about as far as that card in Brazil. That usually those cards are starting. Usually you have a good mix between. I'm going to say not as much Muay Thai, but kickboxing and grappling. But you can have a good mix between that.
Okay. Just so a lot of times we get new listeners on, and Z, would you just explain Muay Thai moves to rather than at what the difference is between Muay Thai and Jiu-Jitsu or any of the other moves out there?
Yeah, well, Muay Thai. I'm going to say Jiu-Jitsu is more grappling and more leverage and everything. Muay Thai is a striking. Is purely not more or less striking. They have the Muay palm. That's when the guys get you get the position and the back of the hand position in the back of the head, and you try to leverage a person's body into you. But Muay Thai is to where you use all points of your body to a degree. You use your elbows, you can use your shoulders, you use your knees, fists and feet, of course. They're big on shins. Their shins are probably the toughest shins as far as a striking that you're going to deal with. The guys kick nails, bags with nails in them. They toughen their shins up. You've seen videos of guys kicking, knocking down little trees with the shins. So when it comes to Muay Thai, it's a combat thing. You get it from combat, and a lot of it was originated, if I'm correct, with the sword. As I say, my true Paul Berry, I'm always going to give him his proper due. He would know a lot more about it than me. I did very much coach in the Muay Thai camp for several years. I trained Muay Thai fighters for their fights. I actually sparred against them. And these guys, and I'm just a hand coach.
Right.
So I just do boxers. And I've been spinning back fists and knee and elbow so many times against these guys. So it's very dangerous, and it really you have to be tough, and you have to kind of you have to be acute. You have to watch every kind of looking planning of somebody's body. You have to do that anyway in most physical combat sports. But Muay Thai, as far as a striking art, is very dangerous. It's very dangerous to deal with a Muay Thai person. So that's all I have to say.
Okay. Well, now, you just mentioned something that I'm sure none of our listeners knew, that you are besides being a radio personality, you're also a coach. And I know a couple of weeks ago you went to, was it Maryland with one of your students? How'd he do?
Oh, no. I didn't go down there. I know that my fighter, the last time, he went down Miami. And, and he actually he won a belt down there, tournament belt. And as I say, Brian Hurst, always wish him success. And he said that he's a Masters fighter, and he said that probably is going to be his last fight. That's good. He's undefeated, and with 3 belts, I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. Always. Anybody who puts in hard work, and really dedicated, you can do it. Yeah? You can do it.
Okay. Well, do you think maybe for next week we could get him on?
Oh, I can absolutely see. I can absolutely talk to him this week and say.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I myself have to go, if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
I'm glad to be on the show. I'm sorry to leave so early.
No problem.
And, all right. You guys have a nice one. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Thank you. You guys have a good one.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Z. Just so everybody know, we usually have 4 guys on here tonight, or 3 guys and a speaker. One of our hosts, Anthony Hedrick, is not doing well right now, so he, we won't be able to have him on probably for another week or so. But I know Tony listens, and Tony, we wish you well with all the medical problems that you're going through. All right, so tell me, Caden, what do you think of Diego Ferreira and Alex Hernandez?
I don't know anything about Alex Pereira.
Yes.
Versus who?
No, Alex Hernandez versus Diego Ferreira.
Oh, I don't know who those guys are.
All right. How about Dominic Reyes and Carl Elberg?
Yeah, that fight happened, or is that coming up?
That happened today sometime.
Really?
That was another one of the Paris flights.
Let me go in real quick and see who won this fight. Because leading up to this, if you're a UFC fan, you gotta be rooting for Dominic Reyes. That one didn't happen today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whenever that one is happening. But if you go into that fight, you gotta be rooting for Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes. You look back at his UFC career and you just think what could have been. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This guy I think he was 28 years old at the time, 27 years old. Comes in, fights prime John Jones. This is peak prime John Jones. Fights him, and in my eyes, and in a bunch of people's eyes, he beats John Jones. Obviously, in the eyes of and the judges, John Jones is still undefeated today. The decision doesn't go Dominic Reyes' win, and that will go down as one of the most highly debated fights in UFC history. And his entire career, I swear, whenever anybody brings up Dominic Reyes, people think about John Jones versus Dominic Reyes and what could have been. And honestly, his whole career is like that, with a bunch of different fights as well. Which is just sad to see. And you see him now, still fighting the UFC. He's not bad. He hasn't regressed totally.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a championship fighter? Personally, I don't think he'll be a champion or a top 5 contender. But those, as we know, those heavier divisions, like heavyweight, they're very top heavy. They have a lot of bulk in those divisions that, honestly, you look at majority of the other divisions, pound for pound wise, they are not as skilled as a lot of the other divisions. So I could see a guy like Dominic Reyes making a run. If Dan Hooker in 2025 can move his way into a top 10, potentially top 5 here soon position in the lightweight division, as however old he is, however late he is in his career, then why can't Dominic Reyes? So I still got belief in the guy. A fight that I was thinking about bringing up tonight that I don't think you have written down here, Pops, is Paul Hughes versus Usman Nurmagomedov. This is a fight that happened in Bellator, and those people who are locked in MMA right now, they know what I'm talking about. This is undefeated Paul Hughes versus undefeated Usman Nurmagomedov. I believe this was last weekend or something like that. Maybe it was a couple of days ago. I don't know. I just know it happened, and big surprise. Khabib Nurmagomedov's cousin goes in there and gets the win over undefeated Irishman Paul Hughes. And this is a fight where I wish both of these fighters were in the UFC. I wish both of these guys were in the UFC. They're two electric fighters. And these guys are just destined to meet each other again in the octagon for a rematch anytime soon. But I just have a feeling. I didn't watch the fight. I went back, watched all the highlights, read through all the comments, all that stuff. And, I mean, man, I've never seen any of these guys fight. I just thought I should have bring this one up just because of the waves it's making in the MMA community right now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just can't wait to see these guys fight again. And Usman Nurmagomedov has been talking a lot of crap to Ilia Topuria. And we have seen recently more and more, you got these Bellator guys coming over to the UFC. You got Pitbull, you got MVP, Aaron Pico. And Aaron Pico's a guy where he's not even old. He's not even older. He's still in his Bellator prime. Like, you look at Pitbull and Michael Venom Page, those are two dudes who were in the later stages of the career, the Bellator careers, and then went over to the UFC. Like, they already had their prime in Bellator. But this is a guy now, I mean, even with Aaron Pico, he's in his prime, went over to the UFC. I could see the same with Usman Nurmagomedov, especially because of the family ties that he has with the UFC, with him being Khabib's cousin.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on Maurice the Devachel and Corey Sandhagen?
Yeah, that fight is coming up.
Yeah,
I believe it's December, November-ish.
11/20.
Okay.
Yeah, October.
November, right?
No, October 25th. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. It's November 15th.
November 15th. Okay. Yeah, we got some good fights. Even before that, October's stacked up with some good fights. December and January have Tom Aspinall. I'm pretty sure Tom Aspinall is scheduled to fight in January. But Merab is a guy that we're going to be talking about a lot in the next couple of years, next 5-6 years. There's not a whole lot of really good young prospects moving through that division right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of his problems would come from a lower division, or if he wants to move up and challenge who's he got above Volk or whoever. I mean, he definitely can. I don't think that he's going to lose anytime soon. If Sean O'Malley stays in that division, I think he'll be a reoccurring opponent, which I don't think he should stay in. I think I've said that multiple times on this show now. I don't think that Sean O'Malley has a future at bantamweight. If he does, I personally don't think it's a very bright one. And you got Merab over top of him, who is just every single time they fought, you can reference Max Holloway versus Volkanovski, but those fights were close.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Those were close fights. These fights with Merab and Sean O'Malley,
mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just Merab all day long. And
mm-hmm.
I think it'll be even worse against Corey Sandhagen. I think Corey Sandhagen has less of a shot to beat Merab, but the guy is just such a smart fighter. He's one of the smartest fighters we've ever seen in the UFC. You never know what he's got going on, so we could see a surprise win from Corey Sandhagen here.
Okay.
But I'm Merab all the way.
Okay. How about another one of your favorite fighters, Ilia Topuria and Justin Gaethje, in November, on the same card.
Is that guy signed?
Pardon me? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
I'm honestly just really happy that they didn't give the fight to Paddy Pimblett.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I said before, if that fight was given to Paddy Pimblett, that is just the absolute weakest title run we've ever seen out of a fighter. I mean, if they gave that title shot to Patty Pimblett, I would have been completely bamboozled. I mean, completely bamboozled. I wouldn't know how they value fighters in the UFC after that one. So I am glad that Justin Gaethje got that shot over Patty Pimblett. And I don't think it's going to be much of a difference from Ilya Topuria. I don't think that. I think Volkanovski's probably. I mean, I think Gaethje is probably the easiest opponent that he's faced at the championship level so far. Comparing, he's fought in a row now. Max Holloway, Volkanovski, and Charles Oliveira, and he's knocked out every single one of them. Every single one of them. That's that might be the greatest three-run fight streak in UFC history. We've never seen anything like that. Like, I hate it when people will downplay some of the stuff that's happening recently. You know what I mean? Just because you look at nostalgia, you look at all this stuff, you want to throw guys like the guys we're talking about earlier, like Chael Sonnen and Tito Ortiz up there. I think Ilya Topuria is already greater than those guys. I think that three fight streak is just that alone. He's a Hall of Famer off those three fights alone. So I don't think Gaethje's better than those three guys. I don't think anyone that he could fight except for Islam Makhachev is better than those guys. I think he's going to win every single fight unless he fights Islam Makhachev. He'll win them all. He'll win them all.
Okay. Well, let me get back on the boxing side for a minute here. Alexander Usyk, he says he's done for the year. Do you think he will get in or not?
I saw that. I saw he was supposed to fight somebody. I bet Z and Tony and Ty would know. But I heard that he pulled out of the fight due to a spine injury, and this is a weird one. He's now being investigated because he posted a video either yesterday or this morning of him like dancing to a song, and he's moving like perfectly fine. And now he's being investigated. They're making him send updated medical reports and stuff like that. I don't think Alexander Usyk's the type of guy to fake an injury. I don't think you can look at a video of a guy dancing and be like, he's not injured at all. You know what I mean? Like, dancing is very different from performing a high level, athletic, output. It's much different. It's just like you see the guys on the sideline in the NFL that are on injury reserve or something like that. Yeah, those guys can stand around and scroll through text on their phone and do stuff like that, and maybe jump around and get excited with the team. But you can't expect that dude to throw on some pads and suit up on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't think that dancing video is like anything of substance towards Usyk. But again, I think that Ty and Tony probably get better insight on this, but that's just from what I've seen. Right, will he fight this year? I'm guessing it depends on those updated medical tests.
Right. How about Ty has always talked about the business end of the fight business and how the guys will self-promote themselves by either getting in the paper for good or bad. And here's a case where John Jones is lashing out now against Dana because he won't let him fight at the White House for next July 4th. He's also, I understand, started a lawsuit against UFC Inc. For not allowing him to fight. What's your thoughts?
I don't think it'll work out too well for him. This is a guy who has been known throughout his entire career for getting himself publicity, whether it be good or bad. Personally, I've said it multiple times. I think he is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. I think he's a top 10 combat sports fighter of all time. And this whole saga now is just, honestly, if it were coming from someone else, you might not expect this.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's great. I think it's great, man, because I'm a big Tom Aspinall guy. I'm
Right.
going to say that.
Right.
And so the way that John Jones treated the UFC during the time of Tom Aspinall being interim champion to the time of John Jones retiring, it's just, he should just be grateful they didn't strip him of his belt. You know what I mean? They let him parade around as a fake champion with a fake belt for like a year and a half. And honestly, it was just, it got to the point where I wouldn't say it was annoying, but it was almost infuriating. Probably really infuriating for a guy like Tom Aspinall. But I feel like you can't do something like that to a company or to anybody, for that matter, and then expect that same person or company to not, to treat you the exact same and not carry some sort of stigma about you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not even the worst thing that he's done to the UFC. You look back on those Daniel Cormier fights when he was really getting in trouble. Him and Daniel Cormier had scheduled fights. They had like 5-6 scheduled fights, and they only fought 3 times. And you look back at those times that they were supposed to fight. It's John Jones suspended for a year for domestic abuse. John Jones suspended for a year for controlled substance abuse. John Jones suspended for a year for cocaine and a hit and run on a pregnant woman. These are all real, true things that's happened. It's just weird that this and his actions towards the UFC recently carry more weight than all those other ones did.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is what's weird. But I can imagine him being mad, but I mean, he's got to expect. What else do you expect? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. There was another thing, I guess from the big sale that some people in UFC were granted all kinds of gifts, we'll call it. And Anderson Silva, is my understanding, got $10.5 million for a win. Is that does that make sense to you?
That might not be. That might be for the Jake Paul fight when he fought Jake Paul in boxing. Mm-hmm. Anderson Silva, he hasn't fought in the UFC for, I want to say, maybe the last fight I remember him fighting was against Adesanya in like 2018, 2017-ish. Mm-hmm. And I don't think anybody has been paid like over a couple. I think the highest grossing UFC fighter in terms of a single fight is Francis Ngannou. And I think he didn't get over 10 million. So I would expect that payday to come from the Jake Paul fight and not the UFC.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let me ask you, what do you think about Colby Covington wanting to return to UFC? Is that a good deal or not?
I think he definitely can. He goes into that welterweight division, and there's no more. There's no more Hamzat. There's some other names still. And you still got Kamar Usman. That was the big was his big roadblock, was Kamaru Usman. And I loved it. No matter what Kobe Covington tried to do, he couldn't do anything to Kamaru Usman. And those who know me know that Kamaru Usman is one of my favorite fighters of all time. I hope the guy is such a high regard. But that he might be focusing on the middleweight division. So there are a lot of guys in that welterweight division that aren't there anymore. Mm-hmm. So a return for a guy like Kobe Covington could be pretty good. Now, his last fight, he looked bad. He looked real bad. So if he can just tighten up a little bit, like I said before, you got guys like Dan Hooker who are making a better run in a harder division at an older age right now than Kobe Covington would. So I say why not? I say give it a shot, man.
Okay. Well,
his wrestling and his cardio. I mean, that knowledge, that's the cardio is one of the last things to go, and the wrestling is too. I mean, that's just pure knowledge. You don't lose that. So I think just that, that alone could get him into the top flight of the welterweight division.
Okay. Excuse me. What do you think about Demetrius Johnson versus Mauricio Divichel?
Merab Dishravelli, Merab and DJ would never fight. If we're talking about a hypothetical fight, DJ, in my opinion, maybe this is just me being biased, I think Demetrius Johnson is one of the most skilled fighters. He's probably top 5 most skilled fighters I've ever seen with my own 2 eyeballs. And I hold the guy in such high regard that if we're talking about pound for pound, I don't think the only guy I can really think of that's beating Demetrius Johnson pound for pound might be John Jones. And that is teetering. We never got to see the full extent of Demetrius Johnson in his prime at the UFC. And the crazy thing is he had 17 title fights. 17 title fights, and we still, in my opinion, didn't get to see the full peak of Demetrius Johnson in the UFC. And sadly, we were robbed of that. Sadly, we were completely robbed of that by Dana White. But in this hypothetical matchup, I got DJ. It'd be a great wrestling match. But I just think, DJ's more skilled on the feet. He's more skilled on the ground. I think Merab could outwork him. He might out-cardio him. But he's not faster, and he's not more powerful. He's not more explosive. I'd have to go to DJ in that hypothetical matchup. And then again, this is like you placed Merab in the UFC 20 years ago, and those two are fighting each other. I mean, that's a great rivalry right there. Those two would be going at it for forever.
Okay, what do you think of Aljamain Sterling and Brian Ortega?
That one's coming up too, I believe.
Maybe
it already.
Very shortly, yeah.
It's coming up. I like both of these guys. I really like Aljamain Sterling. I don't respect him as much as I respect Brian Ortega. But I do think that Aljamain Sterling is just a little bit more fresh right now than if you compare him to Brian Ortega. Where Brian Ortega has taken some rough losses as of late. And Aljamain Sterling, relatively, I mean, he's never really been hurt too bad. Besides that Sean O'Malley fight, I don't really think we've ever seen him in some real trouble like that. So I'm going to have to go Aljamain Sterling.
Okay. How about Johnny Walker picked up a $50,000 bonus for his win over Zhang? What's your thoughts? Still there?
Yeah. I saw it. I was surprised. I had no idea. You remember me going into that fight?
Yeah.
I was like, Johnny Walker's going in there. They're walking Johnny Walker all the way to China for his death in front of Zhang's fans.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about these Chinese fans is that these dudes show respect to absolutely everybody. Johnny Walker went in there, got the win, and man, you look at those fans, they had zero malice towards him. They cheered on Johnny Walker. And that's what you love to see. That is completely what you love to see. Sometimes you'll see a crowd that is either completely unresponsive, or they're just they're like booing the fighters, doing all this, doing all that. Those Chinese fans were absolutely great, and I hope the UFC goes back to China sometime soon. And my man Johnny Walker, he's one of the goofiest fighters in the UFC, yet he's still out here getting knockouts. I mean, it was great. I saw that, and it made my day.
Mm-hmm. I guess the last one we have here is Robert Walker. What's going to happen to him?
Robert Walker. Is that boxing?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm on the wrong page. What's next for Brian Ortega?
He's going to fight Aljamain Sterling.
Ah, that's right. I forgot that was the one we just did.
Yeah.
Okay, and we talked about now. What do you think? Who's next for Ilia Topuria?
We talked about that one as well with Justin Gaethje.
Yeah, I mean after that one, do you think who do you think would be?
I think Gaethje's gonna lose without a doubt.
Right.
And then Paddy Pimblett will fight somebody. And I'm sure he'll win because he's been looking pretty good. But yeah, as of right now, he hasn't deserved a title shot. But he will. He's just destined to get that title shot. And he's without a doubt next in line. And when that happens, I think it'll be without a doubt one of the most dominant UFC title fights that we've seen. I said that with the Hamzat Chimaev fight. I wholeheartedly believed it, and it happened. I wholeheartedly believe that if Ilia Topuria fights Paddy Pimblett in any shape, any way, shape, or form, there's absolutely no way that Paddy Pimblett makes it out of the first round.
Ooh. Okay. Well, that brings to
Topuria is just, he's that good. He's that good. He
Right.
is the man.
Right. Well, that brings us to the end of our program, and I want to say thank you very much for everything you did tonight. You carried the program for the last 40 minutes. Hopefully, Tony will be back with us next week.
Hopefully, we're praying for him.
Yeah. And Z will be, he had a late date, he said. So, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, and again, thank you very much for doing it. You want to lead us out?
Of course, yeah. I thank Z for hopping on the show tonight. Tony, we're praying for you. Praying for you to get better in every way, shape, or form. Hopefully, you're on next week. Greatly missed you tonight. But I just want to say something to the listeners. Thank you guys for tuning in every single Saturday night. Meet the world to me and Pops.
Sure.
And y'all be safe out there. God bless. And man, keep your head up. Keep your head up. That's my quote of the week.
There you go. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, these programs are brought to you each and every night of the week in grateful appreciation to the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, men and police and fire services. When you're out there and see somebody in uniform, please let them know you know they're there. This is very, very important times, very tough times for men and women in uniform, both domestic and foreign. These programs are dedicated to those who've lost their lives in the line of duty. Deputy Robert Anthony Carroll, Patrolman David Curtis, Patrolman Jeffy Colcap, Patrolman Jeffrey Yazowitz, Sergeant Thomas Batinger, San Diego Officer Mike Hendler, Sergeant Tom Wilson, Charlotte County Sheriff's Department, Detective Randy Bell, Detective Ricky Childers, Patrolman Charlie Condit, Tarpon Springs Police Department, Chief Mike Godwin, Philadelphia Fire Department, Lieutenant Joyce Craig Lewis, Philadelphia Fire Department, Sergeant James O'Connor, Philadelphia Police Department, Sergeant Chris LeVake, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Mike Zerba, Newcastle County Police, Patrolman Adolfo Crispin, Lakeland PD, Captain Matt Laterno, Philadelphia Fire Department, Captain Chris Leach, Wilmington Fire Department, Lieutenant Ardith Hope, Wilmington Fire Department, Lieutenant Jerry Ficus, Wilmington Fire Department, Chief Al Hogle, Longbow Key Police Department, Chief Jimmy Ford, Wilmington Fire Department, Deputy Mike Hargrove, Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, Trooper Chelsea Richards, Florida Highway Patrol, Trooper Joe Bullock, Florida Highway Patrol, Trooper Zachary Ben, Florida Highway Patrol, Sergeant Chris Fitzgerald, Philadelphia Police Department, Sergeant Ramon Mendez, Philadelphia Police Department, Chief Corey Compantier, Buffalo Creek Fire Department, Deputy Ronnie Ronazinski, Manatee County Sheriff's Department. My brothers and sisters, although you may be 10-7 at this point in time, at some time will be 10-10 at the table of the Lord. Until that time, may the roads rise up to meet you. May the winds be always at your back. May the rains fall softly on your fields, and the sun shine lightly on your face. Until we meet again, may the good Lord keep you and your family always in the palm of his hands. Good night, God bless, and have a great week.